And we should now kind of be able to start production on our automated wiring, which I hope means that we can soonish actually go for the next phase on the space elevator, which would be absolutely awesome because that means some fun new toys to play with for us. Alright everybody, hello and welcome back to another episode of Satisfactory with me, Spacefish, and welcome back to our beautiful megafactory out here now in update 4 in Satisfactory. The newest update has finally hit the servers and it kind of really skimmed past me, and it appears that when I actually recorded the last episode on Satisfactory, it literally came out hours after that, so we did unfortunately not quite get to see that update in the last episode then, but today it is finally time for that very update, and luckily, as far as I'm aware, we get to keep most, if not all, of our progress. I didn't get reset or anything. I think I was told down below in the comments by Kristen, if I remember correctly, that it was Kristen, that basically this update only affects you past like tier 6 or 7 or something like that, which we are not quite on yet anyways. And there's a lot of new cool things that I have seen, including an actual sort of somewhat plane that you can build for yourself as a personal vehicle. So many cool things to look forward to right there, I think. I've also seen a few visual changes. I think these outs here have kind of changed in their appearance. The whole megafactory itself, I have to say, sort of appears a bit darker, and so do these concrete slabs that I have placed down there. Let's have a quick look through, see if we see some new things that are available to us currently. Then we can maybe have a quick look at the... oh, there's a star. Okay, so we've got a power storage, which is honestly pretty darn cool, because we all know those various incidents I've had with the coal power plants, don't I? Like, that's a very not so good memory, I would say. So having the ability to actually have power storage, pretty darn awesome in my opinion. That is definitely new. I have not seen that before, and I think we'll probably honestly use that as a bit of an emergency buffer, because well, you know, emergency buffers after all those things that we've experienced there are probably a great thing. We could see though that that actually needs status, so we will need to proceed with our current program of expanding the megafactory anyways in order to gain those specific materials. Other than that, nothing new that I can spot out here. This all still very much looks the same. So does this, so does that, and so does that. So that's about that. We will not eat ourselves off this building, because I literally have next to no HP remaining. If I do that again, I'll probably end up dying, you know. Already bad enough that I'm hurting myself hopping down the stairwell. That bush was certainly not there before. Nor was that one. It appears as though the game has actually gifted me with some new bushes, which I do not really like that much. And you know, the best part about it is they are now in my foundations and probably absolutely unremovable for me unless I want to tear half of this apart. Oh no, there's a hitbox right there. I'm gonna get rid of those real quick because, well, you know, who wants like big freaking bushes in their mega factory? This one here may be a bit more complicated to remove. Let's try this. No. That thing is literally sitting in the machine. Okay, we're not going to be able to get rid of that one for the time being, unfortunately. Slightly annoying, but that's going to have to be what it is, unfortunately. Anyways, though, I would like to have a quick look at the equipment workshop right here, see if there's anything new in here. And then we look over to the other thingy. There is nothing new in there. Now, I did see one part that was actually quite intriguing to me, and that was that you can use power lines as zip lines with some specific tool, basically. Now, how to acquire that, where to research that, I'm not sure, but I definitely want that. Maybe that will even spare us a bunch of hypertubes in the factory, but I'm not sure if it works uphill or only downhill, like as in if the tool is powered and actually just boosts you along, or if it's just literally a zip line, you can only glide down slopes with it. So we'll have to see about that. We've got a heavy modular frame here apparently, which is definitely very much new. So going to be interesting to see what we need that for, and well, it's going to be a bunch of work for us setting that stuff up too, so we'll have to now integrate that into our production. Other than that, that seems to be about everything right there though. Now, yeah, I mean, I think honestly shaders may have changed a bit, just given the overall appearance of the concrete slabs, and well, maybe the concrete slabs in general have changed a bit in their appearance, but also like the shadows seem a bit deeper and a bit more contrasting to the highlights. But that's kind of a bit beside the point. I think we're going to go and move over to our research hub, and I'll meet you when we're there. Alright, and back we are out here with the MAM. So let's see if there's maybe any new research targets in here that we can already spot. This here not really being anything new. And to be honest, given that this is the first thing in a long, long tree, is that all stuff that we can make based on criteria? That's kind of insane, honestly. I don't think I've got the amount of ore that I need for that yet. Like, my doggos have brought me a bit of that stuff, but not enough, and I haven't really found that anywhere yet, so that's going to be interesting. There's nothing new right there, nothing new right there, though. Nutritional mixture being a new thing that I have not found yet, and I need some stuff for. Quartz, I also don't have enough for. Sulfur, pretty sure I also don't have enough for that stuff. So, nothing really new in here. Now, the research tree may reveal interesting things, but it doesn't. So, yeah, I think most of these things are like tiers 6, 7, 8-ish. As far as I know, probably more like 7 or 8. So we're a bunch away from that still, unfortunately, and to get ourselves there, we'll need all this, which we're making versatile frameworks already, but automated wiring we are still working on, of course. So with that said then, for one, I think that coffee's... they have somehow messed up the Christmas ornaments a tad bit. Very purple that. But with that said, and these red ornaments being green, let's go and actually... Were those even supposed to be? No, I think that was really, like, whatever. Anyways, I am going to go get myself back to the factory, and we are going to continue right where we left off in the last episode then, and actually work on getting those status done, and then we'll hopefully soon also tackling the automated wiring, so I will see you up top. Alright, so at the very top we are, and as you can see, we've got our assembler here still set up and waiting for those wires to reach it so we can finally start making status. This whole screen thing is changed a bit as well, by the way, which is honestly kind of nice. You can copy and paste settings, which I guess is kind of referring to the clock speed, because that's really the only setting I have ever seen on this screen. But still, very nice looking new change. We've had this stuff set up for a while now. The steel pipes have been here for a while now as well, and we've been desperately waiting to get our hands on some copper wires to actually be able to start making stators. And, well, we also need to kind of afterwards find out how and where to make automated wiring. Now, last episode, though, we set all this up where we are making a bunch of these copper wires, and we also already set up cable production right here, which we will hopefully be able to use soon. And, well, now we need to kind of get an elevator up going. It seems that we are on the third last tile of that mega factory floor, so we will need to make a new hole in the wall out here too, which just in the right spot, honestly. Like, if it would have been there, that would have been pretty tricky. Pretty good to see that somehow it worked out very nicely for us. So we're gonna go here, we're gonna go make a wall conveyor, and we're gonna turn that the right way around, and just put some Mark II conveyor belts out here. That will then subsequently, and hopefully in a somewhat nice curvature, go into that machine. So we will have to kind of readjust that. I'm honestly considering to not even have Mark 1 conveyor belts in my hotbar anymore, to be honest. It's always, I don't know, a bit of a hard decision that what do I want in my hotbar and whatnot. But this is the Mark 2 conveyor belts here for the time being. Now, the question kind of being, how do we want to set up the lift? Probably, oh boy, don't fall off. I can probably just do something like, no, I cannot. Can't afford, yeah, that's a bit of an issue. We will just punch a quick hole in the floor here. We will fix that in just a minute. We will build one of these in, and then we'll go and remove that again. So we will have to go and grab a bit more concrete, but given that we've kind of got an in-house concrete production in the megafactory now, that should honestly not be the biggest task in the world. So we will put a Mark II conveyor belt right here, and that means that we can then finally get those copper wires up top, which is going to be awesome. And now we've got the concrete production right here too, theoretically, and apparently it is a bit more of an issue than I had thought, because we are apparently using most of that concrete. Didn't want all that, not gonna lie. Gonna put that back. Okay, now we've got another half stack of concrete. Hopefully that's gonna last for a while that way, and we haven't really interrupted anything. We've also got this thing here, which we are making cables with, well, no. Oh, that looked like we had the power connected, but we didn't. So if and when we connect some power to it, we will also be making some cables there. And I think we will honestly already connect the power, just so we can already produce some, and we'll probably also already make a little bit of a wall conveyor right here, so we can transport that up, because I think that we will need these cables sooner than we are thinking currently, because of course we want those automated wiring bits and bobs in order to be able to advance our space elevator phase, because at this point we've honestly kind of researched everything there was to research, and while I haven't used everything of that yet, especially like hypertubes and the jump pads, I don't really want to lay too big of a focus on that, especially with this new kind of power line sliding tool, potentially making hypertubes largely obsolete for me anyways for shorter distances. I kind of want to just see how that works for us. So, we're making stators in here now. We're making 5 a minute. We've got 7 already done, and all the materials are seemingly flowing in very nicely, so that's a very good start, I have to say. Let me just check the power grid in the meanwhile. It looks as though we are honestly kind of approaching our capacity, which is pretty mad, to say the least, given that all the Christmas production is shut down at this point. That is kind of surprising, but we will have to work with that for the time being. Now, steel pipes. Okay, the one thing I want to look at now is kind of the automated wiring. The question being if with our current capacity we can still make it, or if we need to expand our power grid once more before we can actually look at that. Now, for the automated wiring, apparently we just need stators and we need cables. So that's honestly not the most complicated recipe in the world, I will have to say. The question being, yeah, we need stators for motors too. I'm not sure we need stators themselves to make things. So I will have to branch this off somehow. The question kind of being, will I have to branch this out into 3 lines or 2? I think I'll branch it out to 3 and make sure to store these things somewhere just in case. Now the question also being, what was my intent right here? What was my intent right here? Or was I initially looking to bring the copper up here? Oh yeah. This was when I was looking to bring the copper up here, but I didn't need copper up here. I needed copper wires up here. So I think we're gonna at least tear these bits and bobs here down for the minute. I'm not sure if we're not gonna need the overhead conveyor thingies here, so we're gonna leave that. But for the time being, the question is sort of this one. We've got the cables coming up right here, so we could, in theory, just route them around and actually I think we are going to make the automated wiring on this level too. So let's kind of prepare for that first. We're going to go and grab another one of these wool conveyors, and we're going to pull this stuff in right here basically. Then we're going to go and route that around the outside through what we first kind of wanted to bring copper ore through for whatever reason. Is this going the right way? It is. Beautiful. And this is kind of where we're going to bring the cables around that we're making a floor below. Nicely like that. Now, if these holes I'll ever need them, I'm not quite sure. Maybe I'll just use them to enjoy the view occasionally, you know? What's that weird sound? Very weird. Anyways, so yeah, that is going to be the plan for the cables. Now, the one... Jesus Christ, this guy... Did they make him more detailed? Kind of looks like it. Very nice, but he's coming close. He's coming real close. Now the question here being kind of how do I want to do this all? I feel that we're going to do it this way. Right, let's have a conveyor splitter right here in the middle. Question kind of being where the middle is. I feel it's that. Yes, okay, cool. We'll have a conveyor splitter there. And we will have one conveyor belt going out right here, basically, that we will eventually use to, well, either feed something on this level or feed something up on higher levels and make motors with the stators, right? That's kind of the thing. I don't know, like, we're going to need so many stators that I'm kind of wondering if we're going to need a second assembler making stators eventually. So that's kind of the thing I'm a bit worried about. Maybe... it is something I actually have to be worried about. I'm not quite sure. Like, the thing is... I'm kind of contemplating right now, right? Just to let you guys follow along a bit more as well. Maybe I'm kind of contemplating if I want to leave space for a second assembler for these stators, just in case I need it. And if I do want to leave space for that, does it make sense to have a conveyor splitter right here? I guess for the time being it wouldn't really hurt us, but I would definitely need to leave the space right here. That would mean that we're going to make like the automated wiring here-ish, and probably that we make the motors a level above. Now the thing is though, if I do have a conveyor splitter right here, and I do put a storage right there, that's going to be a bit iffy. Actually, yeah, no, it is going to be a bit iffy, because if we have an assembler right there, that will kind of need to go somewhere. So, I think what we're going to do instead, we're going to go tear that down again, and we're going to put the conveyor splitter here. So, that way we can still, you know, go for the usual plan, but we've got a bit more space in case we have an assembler here, that if I put one there, I don't need to remove the entire storage and kind of find out what I want to do with all the stuff that's in there by the time that I decide I need a second assembler. So, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to have a conveyor belt, basically. Well, conveyor belt is going to go out there eventually. It doesn't make too much... Well, it's not too important to do that right now. We're going to have a conveyor belt right... No, that's the wrong positioning of the build. So we're going to have that tear that down again for a second just to make sure that it's nice and as intended. We're going to pull out a conveyor belt right here that we're going to use for the automated wiring production. We're going to pull one out right here, which is then going to subsequently be used for the storage. This thing here we're going to tear down. And which way around was the right one? This, right? Yeah, okay. We're going to have that right there. We're going to put a storage container, if I can and may find it. I could honestly also start building bigger storage containers, to be honest, because why not? But the question is with this one if I even need it for crafting, you know? Like these industrial storage containers honestly don't cost me the world. It's just a few of those beans and a few of those pipes, so like I should have a huge backlog of that anyways, but we're gonna make a small storage container here for the time being. We may actually make them bigger in the future though, just because why not? So this thing is honestly a bit in the way. Let me kind of redo that. We're gonna line this up nicely. We're gonna put that in the middle ish. Got to leave some space to route that in there, so that's fine. We're going to put that there. We're going to go and connect that up, and that's going to be the first few of these things actually flowing into there. Now, how much space do I have left in this? A lot. We don't need to connect that yet. So, next thing on the list then, we will have, like, potentially an assembler for more status right here. So, we will kind of continue right here. And I'm intentionally leaving a bit more space because these assemblers and stuff are pretty darn huge sometimes. So we're going to continue right here. We're going to go to production. We're going to grab another assembler and we're going to set that up like this. Which beautifully does not put it in the middle as usual. That needs to be changed. You all know that I kind of have the drive to optimize that as much as I can. And now we go for our conveyor belt Mark II. So this thing right here will go out to, I think, to here, given that. Yep, perfect. And then we will need to pull the walls out a bit, and of course, wait, let me actually put the lower elements first. We're gonna have to pull that wall stuff out a bit because of course we need to bring in that conveyor. And while we nicely coast away on this little thingy and I click the wrong button, we're gonna go and grab that perpendicular conveyor wall right here and here and here. I think we're gonna do it like that, and then we're probably gonna go and grab a Mark II conveyor lift, which we will actually have to put there. No, we could have put it there and then, but well, it is what it is. We're gonna go and connect this stuff up first, like this. Beautiful. You just gotta sometimes be a bit careful with not putting the conveyor lifts up first, because sometimes it can mess up the direction that the conveyor flows in. But this thing is then nicely in line with the second in, which is beautiful indeed. And we're gonna route that in, and that is literally as straight and smooth as it could have been. So I absolutely love that. We're going to let this thing stack up a bit further. In the meanwhile, we will take care of actually getting the other conveyor lift in. So let me tear down that wall here for a second. We're going to go and build another foundation so we can see this somewhat nicely. And we will go and not fall down ideally and grab that conveyor lift, put it into there. And now we should be transporting wires up. Beautiful. So that thing can be closed up again. And we should now kind of be able to start production on our automated wiring, which I hope means that we can soonish actually go for the next phase on the space elevator, which would be absolutely awesome because that means some fun new toys to play with for us. But let me close this off. There we go. Beautiful. This is all flowing over there nicely. We will now go and actually connect this thing up too. Which is actually kind of going to be a bit of a mess because, well, unfortunately we've got the stairs in the way, so we'll probably go for a bit of a sneaky snake. Regardless, let's go and set that up properly-ish. And I think that's totally fine. Beautiful. There go all the stators that we have, and they actually look pretty cool and fancy, absolutely beautiful. I do really think they changed something about the shaders. The game does appear darker overall, I have to say, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I think this looks honestly quite cool. So let me know your thoughts, and the moon also seems brighter to me. But yeah, so this is then flowing into here. Now we of course do need a power pole to actually connect this stuff to. The only question I'm kind of being left with after I actually have selected automated wiring is probably, well, for one, will our power grid survive this? I hope it will, because the peak here, yeah, it should be. Should barely survive it. I think we will have to get back to the power grid afterwards, though. Maybe see if there's like some machinery we can weed out, or we don't need that badly anymore, or if we can tune down some overclocks that we don't really need as much anymore. But with that said, we're going to go and quickly finish this off with a quick little conveyor splitter. We're going to make sure that, well, most of it, well, everything is going to flow into a storage crate for now, but we're going to have a little split off just in case we need it for other things in the future. Split off going to be here, I think. And yeah, then we're gonna see to that. Now the question being, I'm just gonna pull it out like this for the time being, just because I really don't know well what kind of, where we're gonna need this, if we're gonna need like a hole here or a hole there or whatever. So that's something we'll determine in the future. I would, however, I have to say, like to make our first industrial storage right here. So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna quickly nick some of the steel pipes here. We don't really need all of them for the production anyway, so I always click the wrong button, but with that said, that should be totally fine. We're going to nick those, that way we can just easily make that industrial storage over here without needing to run anywhere for materials. The height of this should not be an issue, just due to us making this like 3 elements high all the time anyways. At least I hope. If it is going to be an issue, that's going to be pretty bad, given the amounts of things that fit into this, but you can see. It's basically just as high as an assembler, so it should be fine. And, well, this here being an interesting one too. We've got 2 ins and 2 outs, so certainly an interesting one. Very interesting one. Okay, I didn't know about that part. You know, on the picture here, you can see it only has 1 in. So, unexpected. I really didn't expect that, but, well, that may be opening up some possibilities for future setups, I suppose. But with that said, we're gonna connect that, we're gonna connect this, and that's now going to be all the automated wiring, well, the whole 4 of them that we had thus far, flowing into this crate right here. And you can see that this stuff is honestly rather slow, 24 seconds for one of them. I think we need like 100 for the space elevator, so 2,400 seconds being like like 50 minutes? A little less, 40-ish. It's going to be a while. It's going to be a while regardless. We are going to have to wait for that. Wait, 50? No, yeah. So we're going to have to wait for a while. Regardless of the time. Let's not get too hung up on that. It's going to be a bit, but in the meanwhile, while we wait for this, I suppose we can take care of the power. I do also still kind of need to make motors, which is now definitely going to be on another level of the megafactory, which is going to be another crazy expansion, and then the motors I'm sure we can use for something at the next tier. I don't think we have got anything at the current tier that utilizes them, but I would imagine that some cool vehicles or something else would definitely utilize that, and, well, I mean, there's a lot of things to take care of, as usual. But for the time being, I think we are going to go and leave it at that then. I'm going to go back to the power in the next episode with you all, and then hopefully we will rather soon be able to go for the next phase on the space elevator. So very much looking forward to that. For today though, I'm going to end it here, so I hope you all enjoyed the episode. As usual, if you did, please make sure to hit that like button down below. That does always help out the channel a ton. And if you're new around here and haven't done so just yet, also, please consider hitting that subscribe button right down below, as well as that bell icon, to stay up to date on all the future upcoming episodes. And with all that out of the way, as usual everyone, thanks so much for watching, and I hope I'll catch you in the next one very, very soon. Ciao.